I'm willing to bet that you don't like studying. It takes a ton of time and effort, and in many cases, you don't even end up with the desired outcome. Do you ever wonder how you can study for hours for a test or exam just to get a worse score compared to your friend who studied half-assed the night before? You see, the key to a great study session is not how much time you spend studying, but rather the strategies you use to understand the material. Today, I'm going to give you a full study plan backed by scientists like Andrew Huberman that has proven to maximize your efficiency studying and comprehension of the material. Before we get into a specific study guide, make sure that you're optimizing your sleep as well as your diet. Everything in your body is connected, and your brain especially needs high quality sleep as well as high quality foods in your diet to maximize its ability to retain information. It's not worth staying up long hours of the night trying to cram for an exam. Getting good sleep is extremely important to getting good grades. Great. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get right into the study plan. And the first step is using a to-do list. Plan out each task you have to do daily, analyze how much time you think it will take, and then come back and figure out how much time it really took. I would do this for about a week or so to gauge how much time your assignments really take you. Once you sit down to do your work, always do the hardest assignments first, then move on to the easy ones. And I'd recommend taking a 5-minute break every 25 minutes. Once you utilize this to-do list to figure out how many hours of homework you have a week, including studying, set up a quick schedule for the weekend. The weekend is something that a lot of students aren't taking advantage of. And trust me, you don't have to spend all day grinding on some random ass class. For me, I spend about 4 hours per weekend on school. I usually break this up into 4 one-hour sessions on Saturdays and Sundays, and this saves me a lot of time down the road when a big test or an exam is coming up because I already know a lot of the information that's going to be on there. Which brings me to my next point, creating study guides. A solid study guide is the key to doing well on tests, and there's a super quick 5-step plan that I apply to every one of my study guides to make them as effective and in-depth as possible. For starters, I don't wait for the teacher to announce the test. I track when each of my tests are, and using this method, I can kind of anticipate when the next tests are going to be. On your study guides, you want to cover topics, whether that's units, equations, formulas, concept, themes, etc. Details such as practice problem, facts, peoples, events, and characters, and explanations. How, why, historical context, modern relevance, reminders, etc. This helps you get a good grip on the material in a more fun and engaging way rather than just reading through the textbook last minute. Now, when I'm making these study guides, I also like to use my notes from class in a much more truncated way. So before class, I preview all the content that I believe we're going to learn that day, and I mark up anything I find interesting or difficult and make a brief note about it. I try to get these questions answered in class and add them onto the study guide, and this also works great because it shows the teacher a lot of participation and effort, which goes towards writing a college letter. Now, when you're taking notes, try to make it as engaging and as fun as possible. Draw connections to your personal life, your favorite movies or TV shows, or anything you find funny. And while this may seem like a stupid exercise, it's crazy how much this makes connections in your brain, which is what learning's really all about. I promise that you will remember the material so much more, because everything you have to do in school will matter in your life at some point. The test or the paper is really just the beginning. Your future will be driven by your ability to make connections between your reading and your life. Now, why does this work? Well, this process is something I call progressive active learning, and essentially think of every time you do a homework or review your study guide as a full-out study session. By making the sessions more fun and engaging, by making connections to your personal life, you will find that over time you absorb the material much more. If you can just dedicate a little bit of time each day and weekend to all your classes, it'll save you a lot of strife down the road when it comes to the test and the exams because you'll already be prepared. Now, obviously, you should do some of the review packets or work beforehand and don't completely blow off studying, but this will make studying 99 times easier. And it will also give you a lot more free time during the week to pursue other interests or your self-improvement goals. I know it can seem a little bit overwhelming, but at 10,000 subs, I'm dropping my Discord server, which will be filled with documents like this study plan that will help you dominate school and life.